sponsored by Jeans Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, the official dealership of Life in Alaska.
And welcome back, Interior Alaska. Daryl Lewis in the house on a Saturday evening. Hope everyone's all right. Now, I'll get to my guy, Tyler Huntington, in just a bit. First off, I've kind of torn between these two when they lock horns. Now, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, still bleeding Buckeyes, scarlet and gray. But my alma mater, the University of Alaska, Fairbanks. So I represent Nanook blue and gold, too. Now, the two met again in the beginning of a two-game series, hockey-wise, at the Carlson Center last night. And the hometown Nanooks had absolutely no love for my Buckeyes, busting out the whooping stick to the tune of a 6-1 victory. Both teams were back in action again tonight. Now, Joe Cook will have a complete wrap on Monday. And over at the Patty Center, women's college basketball Saturday, and the Nanook women still on the lookout for that first conference win, taking on the Lady Falcons of Seattle Pacific. And the visitors having none of that. Final score, 87-71. Switching gears, high school basketball, and over at Hutchinson High School this weekend, Hawks versus Hawks. Yeah, you know, Galena Hawks invading the nest of the Hutchinson Hawks. Ladies up first, and the host, two-time defending Aurora Conference champions, and the visitors defending 3A girls state champions. You know it's going down. The Galena girls held off a late Hutchinson charge to claim a 50-45 win. After rolling out to a 30-21 halftime lead, the hometown Hawks used the fourth quarter to make their comeback attempt. Sarah Buchanan connected for 15 points, and Sharissa Johnson added 10 to lead the Galena girls' offensive attack. Johnson bearing a crucial three late to seal the deal. Galena escapes with the win. Kind of got a rivalry going on around here, and talk to me about getting a good win in a hostile environment.
I'm a little too excited.
What were the keys to victory?
Just listening to my coach. She's one of the best coaches I've ever had this year, and I thank her for everything.
And you gotta love that. The Galena boys used a 28-18 run in the second quarter to take a 10-point halftime lead and pulled away in the second half. Now, Curtis Richardson hit 4 3-pointers and scored 24 points to lead the way for Galena. Sonny Kruger added 22 points for the winners, and Edwin Erickson nailed down 15. Every Galena player scored. Now, Darren Silas, as usual, led Hutchinson with 19 points and need just 6 points to reach the 1,000-point mark in his career. He'll get that tonight when Galena and Hutchinson meet again at the Hutch. Michael Benson added 16 points for Hutch, and Daniel Page tallied 13. Galena Hawks run away with the win, 77-62, to complete the Galena Hawks sweep of Hutchinson. Afterwards, I talked to Richardson, who says their focus all week in practice had been about containing the high-scoring Silas.
We did a good job. That was our focus in practice this past week.
What was
to
that?
Shut them down. We worked on defenses to shut them down this last practice, this last weekend. Yeah.
So you're not going to shut him down completely, but
yeah,
make him uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. Frustrate him. Do what we can. You know?
All right. And what were the keys to victory, man?
We controlled the whole game. We controlled the tempo. We forced them into turnovers, and we hit both sides of the floor. We drove the gaps when they were there. We didn't try to force anything.
And finally, tonight, we bring you part 2 of my exclusive interview with Tyler Huntington, the 2-time Iron Dog winner. Now, as first mentioned, this is his first interview since his training accident in late January along the Bering Sea coast. And while we're used to seeing him on a snow machine or racing a boat, doing something, on crutches and recovering is what he's doing for the time being. Now, while training for the 2013 Iron Dog race, Huntington, who says he was traveling an estimated 80 to 90 miles per hour, hit a piece of driftwood and was thrown from his snow machine. He required surgery after being medevac to Anchorage with serious injuries. Now, after 9 days in the hospital, he was released and this week returned home to Fairbanks. Unfortunately, Huntington will miss this year's race, which gets underway next weekend. But Huntington says just being here to tell his story, the main thing.
You know, when it happened, and then I started looking around and started realizing what was going on, then I started worrying that I was internal bleeding was you know, I had that in my mind that I could be bleeding out inside, and that was kind of scary, but I just hung on with everything I had, you know.
Finally got to Anchorage about 10 o'clock that night, and we didn't hear anything until the next day, until he went into surgery.
Pretty tense hours, huh?
Yes. And everybody was calling my house and calling my work, calling my cell phone. It was just too much for me, so I ended up going down to Anchorage on Thursday.
Now, I'll have more with Tyler as the Iron Dog draws nearer, and we wish him a speedy recovery as well. On the Yukon Quest Trail, the first mushers reached Circle earlier today. Alan Moore rode into town first with Hugh Neff hot on his tail. And that's all I've got for us Saturday. Glad you could roll with me for a spell. For more KTVF sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app. But for now, don't go anywhere. Holly's back with the rest of your weekend weather and your early work week weather forecast. She's next. We'll see ya.